My name is Brenda Tracy. I'm here today from Portland, Oregon. So I'm going to share my story. My story is upsetting. You don't have to be a survivor or know one to be upset by what happened to me. If you're just a human with a little bit of compassion and empathy for another person.
So Brenda Tracy came and spoke to every student athlete, male student athlete, I should say, on campus, and her story was just really moving, inspirational.
When she started talking, I don't think anyone was prepared for her story and what she came to speak to us about.
And so on this particular night in 1998, my friend Carmen called and she said, "Brenda, will you go with me to my guy's house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." Then when we got to the apartment, it was her boyfriend, football player. His roommate was there. And then her boyfriend's brother was in town. He was a 5-star recruit, and he brought a friend with him who was a JUCO football player in California. And then a little while later into the night, another guy showed up, and this guy was on the team. I was asked if I wanted a drink. I said no. I didn't really drink back then. And they were like, "No, like just have a drink. Like you can stay here, you can crash on the couch, like just have a drink." And so I finally agreed. I was like, "All right, I'll have one drink." Probably like 10, 15 minutes after drinking that, I started to feel a little like warm inside, like I could feel my cheeks getting flushed and hot. And I remember thinking, "Oh my God, I think I'm gonna pass out." So I did pass out. I just closed my eyes and I laid my head back on the couch and I passed out. So the first time I came to some consciousness, I became immediately aware that I was laying on my back on the living room floor and I was naked and I couldn't move my arms or my legs. And I mostly remember in that moment feeling like I was trying to say, "Stop." I remember they were laughing. They high-fived each other a few times. And then another time I woke up, I remember that one of the men was cradling me in his arm and they were pouring a bottle of hard alcohol down my throat. But I know from the police report and the statements in the police report that my attack lasted for about 6 hours. I have shared my story about 100 times. It is just as hard every single time for me to stand here and do it. It doesn't change.
It was emotional looking at all the, big, tough athletes that we have at NC State being completely torn. Just listening to her story, how shallow you feel when you hear someone describe the events that happened to her. And
as a male who has, several female friends or just female role models in my life, that I can really identify with the fact that, I know someone who's been a victim of sexual assault or domestic violence.
If we do nothing and we say nothing, are we good people? Because I say no. Because doing nothing is doing something.
She turned to every guy in the room and she was like, "I'm not here to tell you guys that you're the bad guys.
I'm not here because I think that you were the problem. Okay? I'm not here because I think that you're the problem. I'm here today because I know that you are the solution."
How can we not only reach the student athlete base at NC State, but can we take it more?
Obviously, starting in the student athlete body, right, there's no incidents like that. Then it goes to the student body, and then now it's NC State as a whole, and now it's maybe North Carolina, and then so this is never an issue that we hear about all the time.
I think these games are incredibly important because, football games, what do they have, 60,000 people? If they see a message on the board, it gets in their mind. If they hear an actual football player talk about the experience, they're gonna be like, "All right, what is this?" Same goes for the soccer team. We have a game against Notre Dame, Set the Expectation game. Our team will have these bands on and we'll have shirts promoting it. Our goal is to not make this go away. So next year we have another Set the Expectation game.
I think Set the Expectation really means is you're the gold standard, you're holding that high bar, and that's what it means to me, is going out there and, setting these examples for, kids in middle school and high school who don't really know.
My final quest for you guys, I think you need to really think about what Set the Expectation means. And from there, how can you help this movement? Can you be the next person to set the expectation? And can you affect someone's world in the positive just by stepping in